we had a topic on the show yesterday, and this was all Sam Flannel's doing. And it was a spin-off discussion of, because Spencer Raxter's been hot this week. He's had some good discussion points. Would you rather be a role player, win a couple rings, or would you rather be a Hall of Famer and never win a championship? And you guys know where I stand with it. I laid it out there. Give me the Hall of Famers, because Hall of Famers get max contracts, and I'm about the bag. So Sam Flannel, and you know Sam Flannel has been flying close to the sun a lot lately. A lot. I mean, literally and figuratively. And a sleeveless flannel on, for Christ's sake, yesterday.
Icarus.
Because it was 102 degrees. But I digress. Sam Flannel took it upon himself to just go on a suicide mission, because that's what he did. And he said he had the audacity, he had the gall, he had the gumption to look into the camera and say that those Stanley Cups won't be remembered as Darren McCarty's Stanley Cups. They'll be remembered as Steve Yzerman's and Sergei Fedorov's and Nick Lidstrom's. He had the gumption to say that. And let's, before we even go into that, just chill for a second, everybody. Just chill. In a weird way, D-Mac, you have to give him a little bit of credit. I don't know if he thought like he was outside the walls here. He was at a bar with his... He had to have known... Yeah, like the mics are on. We're doing the show. In a weird way, D-Mac, do you give him a shred of credit for being so absurd?
Right, because when you think of anybody's championships in any sports, you think of who are the star players. Right now, it brings a different conversation, because here, like you're talking about what would you want to get the bag, so you follow consistently with your context. So you're coming out to play professional sports. You could give a crap about winning championships. You want to get paid, correct?
Right, until I don't.
So you're going with that from the Star Power Hall of Fame. Some of us, right, know that we will never be Hall of Famers, but we can have Hall of Fame moments. So we don't need to carry it. And it's too hard to be Hall of Fame moments, but you know you can be a cog in the wheel. Now, I don't care that on the surface level, when people think of the Detroit Red Wings winning cups, they think they should think of Nick Lidstrom. The most embarrassing things is that you don't think of Nick Lidstrom first, because he's got 4 of them, right? You'll think of me before that. Don't get it twisted. But you'll think of the Yzerman and the Fedorovs. But then when you break it down to the next level where it matters, right? So I want the substance people. So they look at, the 97. Oh, look at that journey. Oh, well, that guy had a moment, right? Oh, why did it play out? So in the whole context of things where it matters, as you get more deeper in, yeah, but I'm not here to... I have 4 cups. The people that know, here's the most important thing, Sam Flannel, right? You, and when I say you, the masses, right, may look at the Detroit Red Wings Stanley Cups, and as they should, see Steve Yzerman, Sergei Fedorov, and whatever, but go ask Steve Yzerman, Sergei Fedorov, and Nick Lidstrom. Do they know who Darren McCarty is? That's all that matters.
Sam Flannel, your response.
So when you're someone like Darren McCarty, I see you, Darren, as somebody who is more lucky to play with guys like Steve Yzerman, Sergei Fedorov, Nick Lidstrom, Brendan Shanahan in 97 and 98, as opposed to they are lucky to play with you. And
So Sam, here's the thing, though. No, but here's the thing. No, to your point. Do you want to win, or are you looking for stats? Because that's not winning. Because go ask Steve Yzerman, Brendan Shanahan, to whatever, being lucky to be able to be on their team. But without the grind line, without the pieces behind it, right? I think we're lucky to play with each other. Now to the point, he can call it, dude, God bless you. But you know what? Here's the thing. Without us, you don't win. It's proven that in the past. So there's a combination, and it's not just me.
No, I don't.
It's the combination.
I don't dispute that you guys were very important, especially you in 97.
So, Sam, do we win? So you're telling me that without the role players, without me, not just me, without the Drapers, the Maltbys, the Bob Rouses, the Jamie McCowans, all the role guys, take all your Hall of Fame guys out of there. And you're saying that no matter who you put them in there with, We were just filling a void.
That's not what I'm saying.
That's what you just said.
But what
you said that we were lucky enough. If you want to win championships, right? So here's the difference. That's why it's so important of who your role guys are, right? And how they play with the Hall of Famers.
I'm not saying that you guys weren't important. Of course, you guys wouldn't have won. I didn't say that. What I said.
But if you're saying who has a more prominent role in winning championships on those teams are the bigger guys, because they're supposed to, Sam. But at the end of the day, when you need that 12 and 15 minutes to play the dirty, hard stuff, you got to find the right guys.
No,
it's a specialty.
I understand that, but I do think, obviously, that the superstars are more important. In 2002, for example, when you talk about arguably the greatest team ever assembled, they don't talk about Darren McCarty. They talk about all the guys I just mentioned, adding Chelios,
They're not supposed to talk
adding
about
Brett
Darren
Hull,
McCarty, you dumbass. Darren McCarty's supposed to do his job, so you talk about the rest of them. Because you know what? Every now and then, because you know what happens, Sam? And you ask this, grind line go. Why? Because every once out of 10 times, the big guys couldn't get it done. So when did it come down to? Right? When push came to shove. Oh, 98, I'm sorry. Who scored the overtime goal in Game 2 of the finals? Was that Chris Draper? Oh, no. Was it Sergei Fed? No, it was Chris Draper. So look at all the timing when it has to happen. Because it's all about not when your big guys get her done. It's can you have your role guys step in? So at the end of the day, it's not about us getting our flowers. Because we get our flowers from those top guys. We don't need them. And we get them from the people that appreciate it. So that's about putting a team together. But it makes sense because of your Michigan fandom. Aww. So that is sort of along the lines of that attitude of what have you done instead of the appreciation to the guys that help it out. I'm not saying that our roles aren't big, but it's the biggest of the roles that we play, right?
Well, D-Mac, you...
Better than the most. Better than all, right? So if you're going to be the best third line or the best fourth line in the league, do you not own that? Why don't we do a Hall of Fame of fourth liners? Would I make that?
That doesn't exist because fourth liners don't make Hall of Fames. That's why you're on the grind line, not the top line. Come on.
That's it. But here's the point, Sam. To your point, what did he say? He said the grind line. What are the lines that you know in hockey that if you mentioned? You mentioned the production line, right? You mentioned the Russian Five. You mentioned the grind line. You know who it is, and not even in Detroit, everywhere else. So to your point, take the grind line out of your conversation because they have 4 Stanley Cups, and that's the misnomer here. But the fact is, you don't want your role guys aren't supposed to be your top guys. It's just the fact when your top guys aren't going, that the fact that you do know at different parts. Because all of us have big moments. You can't say that anyone on the grind line hasn't had a big moment or been impactful in winning cups.
On our YouTube chat thread, back here at Big D Energy Woodward Sports Network. I knew this was going to be explosive. I didn't know it was going to be like this, though. I mean,
dude, hey, listen, I got to give Sam credit, dude.
He's standing in there.
No. When Flannel's going to fight, he's going to stand there and he's going to throw punches.
Yeah,
That's
I like it.
No, I like it too because, dude, I don't take offense to any of that, to the fact, because at the end of the day, we know. Go check out the cup. If you look and rotate it like 4 different times, you can see my name 4 different times.
Okay, what about this? What about this, D-Mac? And obviously you're getting a lot of support there on the YouTube chat thread, as you would expect. But AC says, all you guys are way too emotional to have this conversation. Sam is 100% on the money. D-Mac is Ty Lue, and Yzerman is Kobe. That comparison's a little off, I think.
That's sort of brutal, right? Couldn't you say it was more like
Derek Fisher,
Sheet or a Rodman?
Yeah.
Rodman's a Hall of Famer. Rodman's a Hall of Famer. I would consider you more in the beginning, Vinnie Johnson, towards the end, more like John Sally.
All right, perfect. Winners. Doesn't matter.
You know what? When you boil it all down, D-Mac, that's...
But at the end of
that's your card you play.
You know how many guys would take both of their nut sacks to give away for one of these cups?
Right.
Right, exactly. So I got 4. So you know what? It doesn't
what
matter.
Do you think?
Because the whole thing is that at the end of the day, right? If your top guys can carry you, if your best guys are your best guys and it goes all hunky dory. but it doesn't go that way. So at the end of the day, when it doesn't go good for your big guys, who are the other guys that can step up? Because not everybody can. Imagine if there was no grind line. So if there was no grind line, and I'm not like it could have been different, you might have won, but then you haven't won a championship, since 57 or 55, 1955. I'm just saying you need pieces of the puzzle. So can you say you can't disagree with me because we were part of all of them?
I can say that maybe in 2002 and 2008, you guys would have still won without yourself, Darren McCarty.
Lies. You wouldn't have won that first game of the conference finals when I scored a natural hat trick in the playoffs, and that all you need is every now and then the grind line just has to be a part of one or big moments. So you're wrong for that one. 08, I could say yes, maybe, but the biggest thing in 08 where you don't see, because it's culture. Because my influence and impact in that wasn't on the ice, even though I played 17 games. It was in the locker room. And it was in the culture. And as you see how the culture played out with Babcock, right? So it was easy to at least temper
looking back on that, D-Mac,
so here's the thing that you guys don't understand. And I mean you guys who aren't professional athletes, who aren't in the locker room and whatever. The bigger impact that role players have is in the locker room and in practice, away from the ice, getting ready for the game. Why do you think Pat Maroon is going for his 4th consecutive Stanley Cup?
He's just lucky, I guess.
Yeah, he's just lucky.
He's just lucky, man.
He's just lucky.
He is lucky to play with Kucherov, Hedman, Vasilevsky, and Stamkos. I mean, it's not them. It's obviously Pat Maroon.
Does it work both ways? Do Hall of Famers say, thank goodness I got this guy out here who's blocking shots and doing the things that I don't need to do because I know that there need to be done to win? But you know what? I don't need Sergei Fedorov blocking that shot. I'll have Chris Draper do it instead so Sergei Fedorov can skate down the ice.
You guys have a role, obviously.
I'm saying, but it's unimportant. But it's invaluable.
It's not as important as theirs.
It's petty to Sam Flannel. And you wonder why? You know what? It's that mentality. That's the Michigan mentality, bro. No, just why you won't win. Embrace the culture. You don't have any.
Well, I've always said that culture was a little bit overrated. That's just my opinion.
I know, and your opinion's wrong. And wait. Your opinion's not wrong because culture is different everywhere, in every dressing room. So the right culture is what's important, right? And so
I like that. Yeah, because you're right.
No, that's what it is.
Yeah.
And you look at what you have right now in the finals of the NHL, right? You have 2 cultures, one that's younger near the end of it, but Colorado's culture is there. The big question with Colorado is Mike Smith 2.0 and Kemper in net because Tampa's not ever going to be out of the game. We know the culture of Tampa Bay, John Cooper, whatever, running that as a machine. So you know what? Do not take, it's just like running. Sam, you know what you're doing? You know what you're doing? You're making my role feel like yours in that booth is meaningless. So the role of Darren McCarty is the role of Sam Flannel in the audio booth.
Boom, turn it around on you.
No, I'm just saying that. Because people don't see, they see us.
Yeah.
They hear us. They don't know the bells and whistles you got to go through. They don't know how on point you have to be. They don't know how you have to set us up with all this stuff and the preparation that goes in.
They don't know how Rick Ross just appears.
But we know, I know, right? Not to anybody else. So that may be to the fact of maybe what people don't understand about the intricacies of your job is what I'm trying to explain to you, the intricacies and the importance of what the role player is. And here's the thing, like I said, I don't care because I accomplished what I wanted to accomplish, and that was winning.
The Warriors, even being the dynasty that they are, they were still kind of like the little engine that could, right? Because
it was all homegrown. And, like, KD came there, left there.
Right.
They won before him. They won after him. It didn't matter, man. Like, they were a homegrown franchise.
Yeah, and they battled through injury. 3 years ago, they were the worst team in the NBA. But
Right.
you knew that was fool's gold, right? Because
Sure.
you knew Clay was hurt. You knew Steph was hurt. But, they trade for Wiggins. And, even their first-round pick, Wiseman, didn't even play.
They're Darko.
Yeah, he didn't even play. They better hope he's not their Darko. But honestly,
it won't matter.
Yeah,
For real. Like,
they
it
are
doesn't
set
matter.
up. They are set up for another 5-6 year run, and this has already been a 10-year run during
Right.
the LeBron era. That's the conversation. Who was it that tweeted that? Was that Rob Beard last night that tweeted that out, or was it
I didn't
Parker?
catch it.
It was Rob Parker that
Oh,
tweeted
that's
out.
right, yeah.
Like Steph Curry got 4 championships during the LeBron era.
Don't put the LeBron era in quote, Stick. It is the LeBron era. There's
Yeah,
a
then-
lot of context
All
with
right,
those championships.
Listen,
Come on.
Listen. You may have balls with D-Mac when you're talking about hockey, but if you come in here and threaten me with LeBron talk, I will take every stat and show you why that guy is worthless. Why he goes
Worthless!
to teams.
Oh, God. Worthless!
He goes to teams. He
Oh my
wrecks
God!
them. Then
After he
leaves
wins
them.
championships, come on, Stick. He's won 4. You are high. Did you
On how
smoke
many
before
teams?
you came in here?
Yes, I smoked before I came here. But how many teams?
3. That
Three
doesn't
teams.
matter.
And how did those teams look before and after he left?
It doesn't matter.
It
He got
does.
them championships. He got Cleveland the freaking city, their first championship in 52
After
years.
he bailed on them.
He got him a championship. Cleveland would take that 100 times out of 100.
Kyrie got them that championship.
Okay, Kyrie. It didn't have anything to do with
Who hit the shot?
LeBron
Who
led
hit
the
the
team
shot?
in points, rebounds, assists,
Who hit the shot?
blocks, and steals.
Who
so
hit the
what?
shot?
Who got the block? The greatest defensive play in NBA history. Come on,
Tayshaun
Stick.
Prince?
Okay. Tayshaun Prince got it in the Eastern Conference Finals. LeBron did in the finals. The Tayshaun block was obviously amazing, but it was
Listen
Game
to
7
me.
of the
Listen
finals.
to me, Sam. You know who won multiple championships on Jordan's era? Nobody. You know who won multiple championships on LeBron's era? Many bodies.
Many buddies. I just count Steph Curry. Maybe you can argue Duncan, but Duncan won in 14 and the last one was 07. That wasn't the LeBron era yet. And Steph Curry, I think Kevin Durant might have something to say about 2 of those championships because he was the finals MVP in 2 of them. He was clearly the best player. He was what brought
Listen,
them over
Andre
the top.
Iguodala was the finals MVP in their first finals. That doesn't make him better than... Come on, use your head.
That's an indictment on Steph Curry, though.
No. It's actually a credit to Steph Curry that he won before KD got there, he won while KD was there, and he won after KD. He's more similar to Kobe Bryant, what he did with the Lakers, than what LeBron has done chasing rings around the entire NBA, ruining shit.
Okay, well, maybe he is. Maybe Steph Curry is like Kobe, but LeBron's better than both of them.
Okay, you're the sound guy. I can't cut your mic off, but somebody, come on.
Do you really think that is a
come
hot
on.
take? LeBron James is the second best basketball player of all time. He's not better than MJ, but he's better than everyone else who ever played the game.
You are dumb.
I'm dumb. That is, he's going to have 40,000, 10,000, and 10,000. He has
That's
4
because he's
championships.
played for 87
but
years.
he's been great for 87 years.
Haven't you seen that meme with Michael Jordan that's like, man, I wish I would have known I was playing for stats, not championships, because I could have stacked them up like LeBron. I don't care about stats. I care about rings. I care about championships. I care about how you treat your teammates. I care about what you leave. I care about your legacy. LeBron ruins everything he touches.
He got 4 championships. You care about championships. He has 4 of them. Come on, Stick. We can find some
off
common
of who's
ground.
back? Off of Kyrie's back, off of Dwayne Wade's back, who already had one before he got there, and then he had to go to L.A. and put together another super team to get one.
Super team.
Yeah,
he
a
was
super-
the best player on all those championship teams. Come on, Stick.
Then
We
why do
can
you
find
have,
some
why
common
do you have
ground.
to go? Why do you have to go ride Dwayne Wade's coattails after Dwayne already had one?
Steph Curry rode KD's coattails in 2 of those championships. Come on, Stick. We can find some common ground. I know we can.
Did Steph Curry go to KD or did KD come to Steph?
KD came to Steph.
Just like LeBron went to D Wade. Now shut up.
Okay, but the 2015 championship, you got to admit, Stick, and Kevin Love was out for that finals, and Kyrie got injured in overtime of Game 1. So
That Game 7 performance that Bron did on the road was an all-timer.
in 16, yeah, it was an all-timer.
Was an all-timer.
Come on, Stick. You
It
got
was-
to.
yeah, it was. It was an
He's
all-timer.
had good performances,
Yeah.
but if we're going to call this the LeBron era and another guy's got 4 rings, it ain't the LeBron era.
It is the LeBron era.
Both things can be true.
No,
I
it
think.
can't.
I think both
No, they
things can
can't.
be true.
So is it
Where-
the Steph era? They have the
Yes.
exact same. Are you kidding me? They have the exact same amount of championships, and LeBron has 4 Finals MVPs. Steph Curry has 1.
Who changed the game of basketball?
I don't-
LeBron or Steph?
Analytics and Steph. Steph and analytics. Come
There
on.
we go. There it is.
And LeBron,
There it
LeBron
is.
did change the game. Come on, he made it so that players had to be all around. They had to score, pass, and rebound. I get it.
What?
You had to be an all-around player to
He
be
made
considered.
it so coaches were disposable and role players hated it there.
He got 4
People love
championships.
to play with Steph. People hate to play with LeBron.
You act like LeBron is a bum or something. He has 4 championships.
That's great. So does Steph.
And LeBron has
On
4
one team that he built
And KD got 2 of them.
If LeBron stays in Cleveland and does what Steph did, we're having a completely different conversation.
But KD
he had to
came
run.
to Steph.
He had to run. He had to run to Wade and get his
Did
championship.
you see those teams that were constructed around LeBron's stick?
See, WMU gets it. LeBron is just mentally fragile.
He's not
After
mentally
Delonte
fragile.
West tagged his mom, he had to leave, and that caused problems.
Well, to be fair, any person would have to leave.
Yeah.
I mean, they would. C.J. Schneider says this, though, and I'm kind of with him. You know, C.J. and I butted heads over the last couple of days, but I think he's spot on here. Stick, remember, Hakeem, Bird, Magic, Isaiah, they all won championships during Jordan's time. All of them.
Prior to Jordan's time, right? Like once Jordan started winning championships,
Okay.
who won?
So here's my question to it
the
then,
Rockets
Stick.
did win on a shortened season, and they won when Jordan was playing baseball.
Okay.
So
here's why is it?
and I'm not a Jordan fan.
Right. Well, why
I'm a
is it?
fact.
Why is it LeBron? Why was it LeBron? Why does LeBron get penalized for taking that Cavs team to the finals, the first finals that they went to? What was it, 09 or whatever?
And then
it
they
was?
got swept.
Why does he get penalized for beating the Pistons when Jordan didn't? Like, Jordan gets rewarded for losing those games. LeBron gets penalized for winning them because everyone goes back to that. Well, he lost this finals appearance. Dude, that Cavs team had no business being in the NBA finals, and he put the entire franchise on his back and
Right.
took him to the
And that's what I'm saying. He built it at that point, and he should have stayed there and continued that path, right? Instead of like, oh, you know what, I can't do it here by myself. I got to go. Hey, Chris Bosh, you want to come from Toronto? Hey, Dwayne Wade, can I ride your coattails for a couple years because I want not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4? No, just like Steph Curry solidified himself as this is the Steph Curry era. It is not the LeBron
Steph
era.
Curry era. Get out of here, Stick. Wouldn't it be nice if
You
LeBron
just
got
didn't-
drafted to Klay Thompson? Wouldn't that have been nice? Oh, but Steph Curry, it's his will to win, obviously.
Oh, wait, didn't LeBron leave Cleveland in a bad position, so they got 2 number 1 overall picks? One of them was Kyrie Irving, and then he went back?
It just shows
So
what
what are you
LeBron
talking
was.
about,
It shows
dude?
what LeBron was working with. He was working with a team that should not have been
It shows
in any
he needed
finals.
2 number 1 picks to do anything in the playoffs, and then he came back because he couldn't build it on his own.
Because every player needs help around them. Come on, you guys act like Steph Curry did it all by himself.
If
like
I'm
Kevin
starting a
Durant
team
didn't
today,
exist.
I'm taking Steph Curry over LeBron.
And that's fine. And I'm taking LeBron over Steph Curry.
And I will beat you.
Talking about the Mo Sider thing, and you and I were together, and when the news broke, D-Mac, I hit you with this instantly because while everybody was looking for Mo Sider to win, certainly I was too, I was surprised by the distance he won by. And then number 2 for me was I immediately went to see where Lucas Raymond was. And because Lucas Raymond, D-Mac, to me, look, Mo Sider appears to be one of those unicorn defensemen, right? We talk about big men in basketball. They call them unicorns. Mo Sider looks to be, because those defensemen that are that big, that are that skilled, are unicorns. But for me, Lucas Raymond is just about as vital to me as Mo Sider is. The rookie contract stuff, the production you're getting on the rookie contract, which certainly has blown away what he's being paid. But number 2, my biggest complaint with the Red Wings from last year to this year, coming into this year, was scoring goals.
Yes.
You look at Tampa. How's Tampa built? Kucherov, what, 2nd round pick, right? Like those are the guys for me. I need guys that can score goals and score them at a high level. And Lucas Raymond, rookie year, 20-goal season, he was what Zadina was supposed to be to me. I'm all the way on board with Lucas Raymond. He could be a great goal scorer. Or am I crazy? Am I overvaluing it?
No, you're absolutely not overvaluing.
Could he be
it.
a
And when you do
Kucherov type?
comparables, you want to do comparables, right? Who
Right.
do you have coming down? So if you're comparable, and I'll do comparables to hockey, to Tampa Bay, where they have the Hedman, right? Where Sider moving in that, but they also have a guy who's an integral part that has been hurt here in the finals, but in a Braden Point, who gets it. Like Raymond could and probably should be with what he showed this year, Neil, your 40-goal scorer, right-handed shot. Yes, exactly. Everything that you're getting from Raymond is what we expected out of Zadina, right? Even 2-3 years to the road. So it's the consistency. If I'm going to compare this to the Pistons or whatever, whereas Mo Sider's your Cade Cunningham, where you look at the Pistons and you look at your Sadiq Bey would be your Raymond, and then you look and go, okay, Raymond is ahead of Sadiq Bey, right, as far as development. So the fact that the biggest thing this is how the league, the writers, everybody else views your team, even though you stink and the wins and losses aren't there, but they recognize talent. You have 2 guys that finished in the top 4 in the rookie Calder Trophy voting, and also made the first team all-rookie all-star team. That is what you want. That is, if you're looking back on this season and the first half was great, then we always talk about that second half and the regression both sides. Well, this was progression when we get to sit back from 30,000 and go, okay. And then I'll even go even more, because you look at what Arvidsson and Berggren and Sodders, all these guys, they're getting awards in their leagues too, right? Which shows you, wow, doesn't mean everything, but it shows you that there's talent out there viewed from not just inside your organization, but outside your organization.
I think it's pretty symbolic too. That was Steve Yzerman's first draft pick. Mo Sider, correct?
And remember everybody like questioning who's this or whatever like that. Like, just sit back. If at the end of the day there's a couple things. Yes, the league recognized what we know, which should give you a pat on the back. And for everybody out there, I'm wearing my grind. If you haven't checked this out, the Grindline podcast, one of the best, because I call them all these kids, right, that have that passion, that have stuck through it, and given their opinions and have gone through one of the tougher years, especially second half. But these are your guys. So you should take pride in cheering for these guys and what they're doing, because at the end of the day, and this is what I love, like I said it before, what I loved is, yes, it's great to be respected individually and get these, but the first thing is now it's about team wins and to win team. And they're all there together culturally. It's a big move that Yzerman knows in building these guys, what they have to send Dylan Larkin down there. Like that's the little things that really matter.
Yeah, and again, for me, it's very symbolic, because that was his first draft pick, and boom. And I'll put my hand in the air. You know me, D-Mac. Like, I'll look the camera and say when I was wrong. I was like a defenseman from a kid defenseman from Germany. Like, I know he's big and everything, but for real, like that's it.
Oh,
and here
real.
he is now.
Yeah,
hey, for real.
Listen,
yeah, exactly.
You don't think I questioned Steve Yzerman many times?
Really?
I disagreed over it. Not in his hockey acumen, but just questioned him. Period.
In baseball, Isaac Paredes was the American League Player of the Week.
Oh, why do I know that name?
Well, you would know that name because that was the man that was traded for Austin Meadows. And as Rack said earlier in the show, Isaac Paredes now has 9 times the amount of home runs that Austin Meadows has.
So, Austin Meadows has a home run?
Like Ferris Bueller's Principal, 9 times.
So Austin Meadows
I have it right here in front of me.
He has 1 home run?
9 times. So, but that's what it is. And look, that's a sample size of a man that's on a heater. There's no question about that. And, it's interesting because Spencer puts it on the show sheet, and it's up on the graphic if you're watching our YouTube channel.
Man on a heater.
Yeah,
That's a new segment.
Yeah.
We got man on a heater.
Man on a heater.
Person on a heater.
Spencer put it on the show sheet, and we have it on the graphic too. It said, "Is this the straw to break Alavila's back?" And I don't, no, because there's a resume of straws. You know what I'm saying? And
the straw's already broke. It's just what's coming out.
I knew it was going to devolve into this. I knew it was, and I know this was where it was going to go. And it looks so good on the show sheet where we can take a look at it and say, look, hey, Isaac Paredes, am I going to break down his game? No, I'm not. Were the signs of this here in Detroit happening? No, they weren't. But where? Organizationally, why do the Rays who have no resources financially, how are they able to do this? How are they able to develop people? How are they able to get somebody that maybe was discarded by another franchise? And even this week, the Tigers had any players of the week this year?
No,
hell no, they haven't. Like, come on, man. And look, it's not something where I'm not putting Paredes in the Hall of Fame or anything like that. But this just, is it salt in the wound for the Tiger season? I guess it is to some degree. But when are the questions going to be asked? Why does this happen other places? Why hasn't this happened here? Why? When are the questions going to be asked?
Yeah.
At what point do you have to be good at your job? When?
Just certain jobs, Neil. Just certain jobs. Obviously not this one.
So the question will never be asked then, right?
No, the question's asked, but it'll never be answered or changed. Just the way it is.
Then what are we doing here?
I don't know what we're doing here. We accomplished that 2 weeks ago. Or maybe it was last
and
week.
here
when
we
I
go.
snapped.
In a God.
Absolutely. Wee. So you understand it's a merry-go-round at Comerica Park. So choose when you get on. Choose when you get off, all right? Because your self-awareness is the fact that it's going on. So if you're going to watch, if you're going to go down, that's on you. That's not on them anymore. All right, that's nothing. That you figure out how to watch. You figure out that you like Riley Green, and you're just going to go down and watch Riley Green, support Riley Green. God bless you.
But all right, look, you know what? Here, I'll do it. I'll do it this way then. And I don't do this.
Cares.
I don't do this usually because, again, I work in the field, so I don't do this usually. But you know what? When do the questions get asked?
When you're governor, bro. When you're governor.
No, but I'm saying like publicly, privately, in print. When do the questions get asked?
Do they not have to have been asked behind closed doors privately? Right? Does it not have to be that we're not doing anything? Either somebody saying, hey, somebody question Al's ability, or Chris saying, this is what the plan is, this is what we're doing. Right? Or where are we at right here? Because it's not getting any better. This is just here's another piece of evidence we dug up. Oh, here's what's going on now. Here's another guy flourishing since he left.
And again, hear me, I'm not saying Paredes is a Hall of Famer, okay?
No,
I'm not saying he's going to be the MVP of the league.
Here's evidence 5.0 that you can't get out of someone that you traded for or you thought was talented. You either gave up too soon or whatever. Somebody else turned the right key, right? Because there's talent, or you just can't manifest it. You get rid of it too soon. Or you have them that are talented, and then when you get rid of them, you get garbage in return.
Yeah. Chuck says, you're the sports media. Ask them. What do I do here? I'm sure you'll see this on social media. I'm sure it'll get 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 views. Like, it'll go out there. But that's not the realm of media I'm in. Like, I'm not down there. I don't cover that team. You know what I'm saying? But I get how it works. I know how that job works. That's a tough balance. I respect it. Certainly I do. But just when do we ask those questions?
People get thrown out of Comerica for wearing a Fire Avila hat. And you can't even bring it up. And our own Rogelio said, guy's kind of a figurehead at this point. Like, is he really calling the shots? Is he really doing anything? It's hard to be seen. So why is he still there? He can't be here at the trade deadline. Like, but
he's gonna be. The trade deadline's in like 4 weeks, right?
If we expect to move
trade
Lang
or
and
the
Vest
draft?
and Chafin and some of our pieces that will actually get a return, it can't be Al Avila calling those shots.
But it's gonna be. It's gonna be.
We're gonna get 4 more Alcantaras.
And look, like Neil, we need Neil to be the governor of Michigan. No one fights for Michigan like Neil. No, I'm not even saying all that.
D-Mac will be your running mate.
Yeah.
I'm Canadian. I'm out. I don't do politics very well.
Again, though, these questions I feel are real. Like, the draft will be here soon. The trade deadline, a pivotal piece of the future of Major League Baseball franchises, will be here soon. And I just want, as my good friend Darren McCarty always says, I just want some accountability. If you have a question for me about the way I do things, ask me. I'll tell you.
It's coming up.
Anything in my life, ask me. I'll tell you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I'll tell you why I made this decision, the factors that went into
You're
it.
not dumb.
Did it happen the way I expected it to happen? Certainly not. Certainly not. And there are moments that I've had in my life that didn't work out the way that I planned them. Just like so guess what? If you ask me about them, I'll answer them. I don't get this, man. I don't get it. How can you be bad at your job for this long and no one questions it? If I came on here and just sat here like this, and you said, Spencer's like, start the stream.
Here's
3, 2, 1, and I was like, Hey, everyone.
Neil, because your
Well,
boss.
well, welcome.
Because your boss let you.
Well,
Because his
welcome.
boss allows it. So is it more figurehead to somebody else pulling strings? Because as long as your boss is the guy who pays the bills,
Welcome to Big D Energy,
right?
everyone.
It's the same thing as a Vince McMahon. Who's paying the bills?
That's Darren McCarty. Remember when he played for the Red Wings? That was fun. Sam Flannel's wearing a flannel. That's pretty funny, right? Spencer won a donut eating contest. He really likes donuts. Get involved in the YouTube chat thread here on Big D Energy. This is fun, isn't it? I don't really know what to say. I'm just here. They put me here.
Right. And as long as your boss puts you there. I think the question, like, that's the whole thing. And it won't change. It's coming up on, July 4th weekend. You're going to be on family reunion, right? Uncle Ricky's going to be there. Uncle Ricky's going to get drunk and try to shoot off fireworks. and the object is that after 10 o'clock, he's not allowed near a match. I mean, it's it, because if not, one of these years you don't watch Uncle Ricky, boom, there goes his hand. We just know it's accountability to that's the same thing at the trade deadline. It could go up in smoke.
JJ McCarthy is ready to go, apparently. He said he expects to be a full go in about 2 weeks as far as Michigan, quote-unquote, camp is concerned, I guess. So it's, is he going to be the quarterback, Sam Flannel?
I will say this. I'm lucky enough that my future father-in-law has season tickets. If I see Cade McNamara on that field as a starter in day one, I don't even want to go to the games anymore. That's how little I think of Cade McNamara as opposed to J.J. McCarthy. I want to see greatness out of a quarterback. I don't want another game manager like we've always had. You can go back. I can't even remember the last time they had like a truly great quarterback. And no, I don't count Chad Henne. No, I don't count Brady or Greasy. Because in college, Brady wasn't great, and Greasy was kind of a game manager as well. J.J. McCarthy is a guy I could see as a game changer. You saw it in short spurts last year. He's 6'3", he has a rocket arm, he's mobile, which another thing that Michigan never gets. So yeah, I want to see J.J. McCarthy on the field. I think he will be on the field. But it really bothers me how some people are like, Cade McNamara led them to a Big Ten title and a win over Ohio State. And I don't know what games you are watching, but I think some guy named Hassan Haskins and that offensive line might have had something to do with it. Hassan Haskins having the greatest every down running back season by a Michigan player since Chris Perry. And yes, I know they had Mike Hart for a few years. I don't like Mike Hart.
Whoa.
They also had Aiden Hutchinson, the number 2 pick in the draft, David Ojabo, Blake Corum. He was pretty explosive. And then Dax Hill. Those were great teams. And I know I'm being long-winded. Let me say one more thing. In 4 wins that Michigan had last year, Cade McNamara completed less than 10 passes in 4 wins. In 5 wins, he did not throw a single touchdown pass. So J.J. McCarthy better be on that field to start opening day. And if he's not as good as we think he is, I want to see it on the field. I don't want, Jim Harbaugh to be like, Cade McNamara was the guy, he was better in practice. When you got a guy that touted, I need to see it on the field. Not like, oh, Cade McNamara was actually better, he's more experienced. I need to see it on the field. So J.J. McNamara has to start.
Well, see, but Sam, and here's the deal,
McCarthy,
D-Mac.
my bad.
Here's the deal. What has Michigan football, and even Jim Harbaugh, what does he pervade? What it's always the old school way, right?
Yeah,
like that,
3 yards in a cloud
well,
of dust.
I'm not even talking about stylistically or anything like that. I'm talking about like the way they operate.
Safe guy.
But in that world, the senior starts.
Yeah.
The senior coming off of taking you to the college football playoff. The senior starts. And that's the way it works in that world, man.
But you're gonna lose him. If Cade McNamara is starting, you might lose your best chance at an all-time great Michigan quarterback since, I don't know, does Michigan have a truly great quarterback in their entire history? Oh, you want to count option Rick Leach? No, they don't have one. I just want to see a great quarterback so bad. I'm so tired.
Be ready for the Tom Brady stuff now.
I thought Harbaugh was the quarterback whisperer though, and it's taken him this long.
That's what I was told.
Yeah. Wilson Spate.
What about you, D-Mac? If you're the coach, and you're a senior
you
that
put
took,
yourself in this position.
but you got a senior that took you to the college football playoff. You got a redshirt freshman, the 5-star, knocking on the door. What are you doing?
It's not a redshirt freshman. It's the thing that comes in at the next coming of Christ, obviously by the quarterback guru. That's always been coming into Michigan. So to Sam's point, he wants to be able to say, hey, this is the guy, or this guy stinks, right? He knows what he's telling you is he knows exactly what Cade McNamara is. There's no more, what's the ceiling to Cade McNamara? 3 more completions, right? 10 to 13 to 15. It doesn't matter. What he's trying to say is that Sam's not saying that JJ's the guy, but he's said he's been here long enough that he's heard he's the guy. That show me if he is, or let me decide that he isn't. Before you throw Cade out there, give JJ the shot. Now it's Cade McNamara. There's conversation that has to have gone on. But what do I expect out of Michigan? Probably the same thing, that the best guy who competes in camp will come out with the starting job.
But it'll end up being the senior?
That's because...
If
But
Harbaugh wants to show,
I agree with Sam. Quit hiding him. Quit hiding him. Throw him to the wolves. It's time. And if he's there, he's there. If he's not, he's not. Because I think Sam, if I'm reading into it as his Wolverine, because he doesn't really know what he's got with J.J. McCarthy.
And I can understand them playing Cade McNamara last year because J.J. McCarthy was a freshman. But I need to see. And let me address one thing really quick that I saw in the chat. A lot of people say that I'm disregarding Denard Robinson when I'm talking about great Michigan quarterbacks. I have this joke that Denard Robinson is the greatest running back in Michigan history, but he couldn't really throw. He just couldn't. With a guy like J.J. McCarthy, you look at a guy that I think could be he's the guy that I think could actually be a potential first-round draft pick. I mean, when has Michigan had that as a quarterback? I honestly don't think they have. I'll have to look that up, but I can't think
Chad
of
Henne
any.
go in the first round?
He was second.
Okay.
man, it's just, if you want to show, I think it's big for Harbaugh. I do. I think this decision's big. If you want to show that it's a modern era and it's a new day, then you take that into account.
With the kid.
You have to.
To Sam's point, you've done everything. If I'm a Michigan fan, right, that you've told me, okay, red shirt, okay, played behind the senior, gave him the opportunity. Now it's his turn. Now it's his time. Isn't that the way it's supposed to go? But isn't he supposed to outplay the senior now?
For me, I think you got to go with McCarthy because what you lost. You lost that defensive line. You lost Hutchinson and Ajabo, so you're not going to have that to rely on. You're not going to be able to let Cade McNamara go out there and manage a game for you. Yeah, you lost Hassan Haskins. You still have Edwards and Corum, and that'll be a good backfield. But Hassan Haskins was your hammer. He was your guy that was moving you up and down the field. And when you don't have a Hutchinson, Ajabo, and Dax Hill, that defense isn't going to be as I don't know their scout or their lineup off the top of my mind, but I'm sure these guys aren't as good as they were last year. I'm sure they still got some good dudes in there because Michigan produces talent, but you don't have that anymore. You don't have those guys to rely on, so you're going to need that offensive punch.
What do you think it means to have him in Detroit? And, when they brought him on,
Yes.
what a cool moment for the press conference and for him. Not only did Javen Hunter, his dad, go to Detroit Country Day, which I just learned last week, and I played against Javen Hunter in high school.
Yeah.
And
Did you block him a couple times?
No, I couldn't catch that dude. That dude was fast as hell, man. That guy was insanely good.
Yeah.
He ended up going to play at Notre Dame, but his mom also played for the Shock. Jaden Ivey's mom played for the Shock.
Yeah.
His grandpa played for the Lions.
7 years.
And then he saluted Barry Sanders, which was a big thing. And even though it's a crossover sport, what do you think it means to have a Jaden Ivey with so many Detroit ties in this city?
I think it's important. It's important that you have guys that want to play in this city, because we've heard it so many times. Oh, nobody wants to go to Detroit. Nobody wants to play in Detroit. That's not a destination. And now you're seeing it. You're seeing Cade Cunningham buying in. He was wearing the buffs. He only worked out for Detroit. He's Detroit, let's do it. What up, though? You see Marvin Bagley saying, I love Detroit. I wanted to go there. It brought me back. It brought my career back. It brought that fire I had back. You have Jalen Duran doing the same thing. What up, though, Detroit? I want to be here. And then you bring in a guy who's got the ties. His grandma lives here. Like you said, all of that stuff about his different family members playing professional sports in Detroit. It's so important. And that's what you're building. And that's what Miles Bridges could add to it as well. Like a Flint guy, an MSU guy, obviously would love to come home. But it's important to have those guys that like the city, know the city, want to be here. It helps everybody else, and it helps endear them to a fan base.
And you know what that is? That's a reflection of leadership, too.
Yes.
So, as much as these guys are excited, it's because of the culture that's been created. And we're not only talking about the Pistons, we're talking about the Lions when we have this conversation because, you're watching those war rooms during drafts and just how tight-knit they are. You're hearing all the players talk about Dan Campbell, how they'd run through a wall for him.
Yes.
And, even when they were losing, they would play, oh, there it is. Oh, that feels good.
And somebody clean.
Oh, that feels so good.
We need a towel over here.
Clean up on aisle stick.
We need a towel over here.
Oh, my goodness.
You thought I was having a Weaver-gasm. This guy's having a Durant-gasm over here.
Oh, God, this table just got lifted 6 inches. What the hell happened over here? Woo. Man, Mr. Pro Design. That's
it's not going to happen.
That's a beautiful thing right there.
It's not going to happen.
Look at that. Look at that. Look at that.
It is not going to happen.
Oh,
man.
yeah, it's happening, baby. It's happening up here, and that's
for those
close enough for me.
For those listening on the radio and on the app, we just put up the picture of Kevin Durant wearing a Pistons uniform, and Stick absolutely lost his mind.
Oh, my God, yeah. I need a cigarette.
So Jaden Ivey loves Detroit. Let's get back to real things here.
Oh, yeah, you talk. I got to recover, baby.
So like I said, he said, I need a cigarette. These guys, you got them in here.
I don't even smoke, too.
Yeah, just, got the gears turning. You got these guys in here. They want to be here. And like you said, it trickles down from the ownership and for obviously, Tom Gores, people will say what they want about him, but he wants to produce a winner. That's what he wants to do. You get a guy like Troy Weaver who knows what he's doing, wants to produce a winner, has great ties within the NBA, everybody talks about how they love Troy Weaver. Kendrick Perkins talks about it all the time. Kevin Durant talks about it all the time.
Right.
Different people say that. And then you have a player's coach in Dwayne Casey that people love to play for, that is a great leader of men, that is great connecting with these young guys. Even though he's an older guy, he still connects with them at a personal level.
He treats them like men.
Exactly. Yeah. He gives them the respect they deserve and the respect they need. And that's not what you had with Stan Van Gundy and different regimes like that. So this is a new era of Detroit sport, and it's something where, like I said, just getting Cade Cunningham, people are going to want to come play with him.
Yep.
He's a guy, he's a selfless all-star. He's a selfless superstar that makes his teammates better. So people are going to want to come play with that.
Yeah, that's awesome. You absolutely love to see it here in Detroit, and just the culture that they're building on pretty much all the teams. So, we could have the Avila conversation at some point, but we got to give credit to Steve Yzerman where credit is due there too. And it's just a nice feeling that these guys are in it together, and we have actual people talking about coming to Detroit.
Yes.
And maybe there's a little bit of past makeup, because you used to have a guy like Devin Booker saying the Pistons were his team, and we passed on him, right? And then look what happened to Devin Booker. So maybe they took that cue and was like, listen, Ivy's been talking super hype about Detroit. Like, it's not always just about talent.
No.
It's about fit.
Yeah.
And if they learn their lesson from Devin Booker, it's like, okay, this guy actually wants to be here. He's going to be in the gym at 7 a.m. working his ass off.
Yeah.
He wants to be here. Let's draft him. And I know we were all disappointed that we didn't get the number 1 draft pick, but sometimes things work out the way they're supposed to be. And this Jaden Ivey fit just feels like it's something that was meant to be.
And especially in basketball is such a mental game. There's so much that goes into it with that, whether it's your shot, it's your attitude on the court, how locked in you are on defense, which is something that Troy Weaver challenged Jaden Ivey to be. He said, I challenge you to be a great defender, because that was one of the questions he had coming out of the draft. Is he going to be a great NBA defender? He has the accolades for it. He's got the body length. He's long. He's got great lateral quickness, obviously freak athleticism. So he's got all the intangibles.
I can't wait to see that first step, man.
Yeah. Oh,
just the athleticism that I can't wait to see this guy. He's obviously, it's going to be some growing pains this first year. I was going to say freshman year, but his rookie year in the league. But if he can continue to just out athlete people,
yes,
we got the guy that can get him the ball
for sure.
And I love this combination of Cade and Jaden.
And that's what it is. He's going to put so much pressure on the rim, because he's able to blow by his guy. He's able to get past that first guy, and that is going to make someone help. You got to help off of somebody if you got Jaden Ivey screaming down the lane ready for a lob. You need somebody to rotate over, and now we have different pieces in different spots that are ready to go. So I think, Cade Cunningham, he's going to be so much happier playing this year in this system when he's kicking it out and it's Sadiq Bey or it's somebody else that Bryn Forbes, Malik Monk, whatever shooter they bring in, and you've got Duren, Ivy, and Bagley just being immense lob threats and pressure on the rim to get these guys open, to give Cade more lanes to the basket, and not have Cade Cunningham, a rookie, getting double teamed at a higher rate than Steph Curry or Kevin Durant.
Right, because they got to actually cover somebody else this year.
It's going to help.
Sam, how you feeling about Jaden Ivey? I mean, I like your perspective because you're not from Michigan. So him showing love automatically endears me to him. Him having that history automatically endears me to him. But what about you, somebody who grew up outside of here? Does it matter that he's showing that? Like, how do you feel about all this?
At first, I thought that it was a little bit overblown, but then you think about it, especially him showing love to Detroit and all the other teams, like saluting Barry Sanders, for example. Pistons fans are Lions fans, are Tiger fans, are Red Wing fans. And he knows that. He understands also that the city has been through some tough times sports-wise lately. And I think a guy like Jaden Ivey, too, he understands competence in Troy Weaver, getting a guy like Cade Cunningham. That's a guy that I think Jaden Ivey could potentially play very well off of. Jaden Ivey is one of those guys, he wasn't my first choice, but after he was drafted, I'll tell you what, I've really talked myself into it, and now he's our guy.
Yep.
We want him to succeed. And looking at his game, especially with the athleticism, with the ability, he's one of those guys that when all things breaks down, he can just go get a bucket. And I know people have criticized his finishing ability, but when you're that athletic, you can create opportunities for yourself where anyone can finish, like an easy layup or dunk. And a guy like Cade Cunningham will get him those looks. So right now, I might have to up my grade to the draft from an A- to an A. After doing some research and intel this week, and I might have to give it an official A.
Well, that's good. I come to you for the non-biased Detroit sports opinions. Like Terry Foster is a good source of that as well. But, we all drink the Kool-Aid. We're all Detroit boys, so we kind of drink the Kool-Aid sometimes. Sure. And I've always been a sucker because this city, nobody speaks well about Detroit. Yeah. It just doesn't happen. My entire life, it's just been, the murder capital, all this BS that when people actually come and visit the city, they're like, oh, this is Detroit? It's actually really effing nice. And you're like, yeah. Maybe if you just wouldn't listen to the pundits. But I've always been a sucker for if anybody's ever said anything nice, it's like, oh, I love them now. Yeah, I love them. Yes. Oh, thank you. You're the best. Oh, you're doing something good for the city. So the fact that we're bringing in people that love this city and want to represent Detroit, like Cade putting on buffs 2 years ago, that sent a message to me.
Yes.
That he said, I'm all in Detroit. And he literally was all in when he put on those buffs. And that's a symbol of the city. And just those little things are so important because not only are you speaking towards good basketball, now you're speaking towards the culture. And you're going to bring in fringe fans that way as well. So